Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. I have Leo with me, and if you're a fan of Leo, I have a special message at the end of this video. For today's wreath, we are doing a new method and it's called Layered Poof Method. It's going to be the same method, but the thing is, I wanted to use one roll of deco mesh, one 10-inch roll, and it's by 10 yards. And I was thinking to myself, how can I use the whole roll so we have a nice poofy wreath? And I thought of a way. So without further ado, let's get started. Here are the supplies we're going to need for this wreath. This 10-inch deco mesh that is 30 feet, same thing as 10 yards. The reason I'm doing the method that I'm using is because I really wanted to use this deco mesh roll, but do you see how foiled it is? It has this blue foil turning into silver and red. When you have deco mesh that is so foiled, when you cut it even with a heating tool, the foiled little pieces, they kind of slip out of the deco mesh roll, and then you have double fraying. I always like to look for a method that is continuous with this type of deco mesh. The Patriotic Sign that I'm going to be using, pipe cleaners. For the ribbon, I'm going to start off with this 2.5-inch wired Patriotic ribbon. Then I'm going to use some mesh ribbon, and this one has little sparkles on it. I thought that would work very nice with our deco mesh and also our sign, but because I didn't want too much sparkle, I'm going to incorporate this white ribbon and using it on every other bundle. This one I get at Costco in a roll that's 50 yards for a wreath base. I'm going to be using a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. The first thing I'm going to do is, of course, attach the pipe cleaners. You're going to need 18 of these. Plus, if you have a sign, it depends on how big your sign is, you're going to need anywhere from 2 to 4. This wreath form consists of 6 sections. In each section, we're going to have 3 pipe cleaners. We're just going to make it easy on ourselves. On row 1 and 2, I'm going to attach 1 pipe cleaner, give it 2 twists, and I'm folding it towards the inside of the wreath form, just like this. Then I'm going to take the next 2 and I'm going to attach them to row 3 and 4. 2 twists, same thing on the second one. And as you can see, I'm facing these pipe cleaners towards the outside. All 6 sections of your wreath form should look something like this. When you're done attaching your pipe cleaners, your wreath form should look something like this. 6 pipe cleaners on the inside row and 12 on the outside. Before we start attaching our deco mesh, let's go over what we're going to do. I always start from the inside, so if we're starting with this pipe cleaner, we are going to make 10-inch loops going all the way around until we come back to where we started. Now here comes the layered part. We're going to undo our pipe cleaner, attach the deco mesh where we started, and instead of going flat to the outside, what we're going to do is we're going to make 10-inch loops once again on the inside row. We're going to have double the deco mesh. Now after I'm done with my second circle and I come back to where I started originally, that is when I'm going to go flat to the next pipe cleaner, and here I'm going to once again make 10-inch loops going all the way around. If you're afraid maybe you were making bigger loops on here or something and you may not have enough, doing 9-inch loops on the outside is just fine, because look at the space of the pipe cleaners on the inside row and the space on the pipe cleaners on the outside row. So you definitely can make your poofs a little smaller on the outside row. Same thing as on the inside row, we are going to do this twice. So we're going to go around once, get back to where we started, and then go again. This once again is going to give us that extra layer and that fullness. To get started, I'm going to go in about 2 to 3 inches. Collect my deco mesh. When I have my tail, I'm going to attach it first to the pipe cleaner. Grabbing a zip tie, I'm going to put it underneath row 2 and attach that tail in place. I'm going to go off of our connection about 1 inch. Cut off the tail. Now this ending tail is straightened out and secured in place. Before we get started on the poofs, there are 2 important things to remember. Our deco mesh roll needs to be rolling onto the table. And number 2, we are going to keep this all together. We're not going to be making poofs like this. We are going to keep it nice and tight. Measure our 10 inches. Then we're bringing it in and tying it to the next pipe cleaner, because when we're going to be making the second row, we're going to untie it and connect it, because on top of this, we still have ribbon. So I don't want it to get too poofy. Measuring my 10 inches. I'm done going all the way around, and here is where we started. Now I'm going to push this deco mesh aside because I want the blue, red to alternate. So I'm going to measure my 10 inches, go to my next pipe cleaner, open it up, put my deco mesh in there, and now I'm going to give it 2 nice twists. And now my pipe cleaners are going to be facing up so I can find them a little later when we need them. Next 10 inches. Undo my pipe cleaner, put it right inside and next to the other one. And now we're going to secure it, 2 nice tight twists. And I'm going to do that going all the way around. I'm done going around with my second layer for the inside row. And look how poofy this is. You can see that I have 2 in each section, and it's already starting to fill up beautifully. Now we're going to go to the outside row where I finished my inside row. I'm going to go nice and flat to the outside row. I'm going to give it 1 twist. And now I'm going to start making 10-inch loops going all the way around. And as I said before, you can definitely do 9 inches if that's what you desire. I'm on the last loop on the outside row. Now I'm going to layer on that second row, but we're not really layering it on. We're putting it next to our first one because it's going to be easier to open it up. I am on my last loop, measuring off 12 inches. Let's open this back up, put our tail in, close it back up. And now we're going to push the tail between rows 3 and 4 towards the back because it's the best way to do it, the best way to see it. Grabbing another zip tie, I'm going to put the zip tie underneath row 3. I always count my rows from the inside out. There's my tail, about 1 inch from the connection. I'm going to cut this off, but before I do you see what I mean? That the foil actually slips out of the deco mesh, and literally I just cut this a few seconds ago. That is why when I'm working with really foiled deco mesh, it's beautiful. But definitely choose a method that is continuous. Now that our deco mesh is all attached, we're going to open up our loops. Working inside out, I'm going to open every poof. The way I do it is I'll grab the whole poof in hand and I'll start on one side and I kind of feed it through. Next one, I have red, and I'm going to have blue because I did put it side by side. So here's my next one. I got the beginning and I'm feeding it through. Anything that's stuck on itself, it's going to open that up and it's going to poof it out. And I'm not sure if this method was done. I mean, I feel like at this point, any possible method has been done by somebody. I'm not sure. So on this channel, I'm going to call it the layered method because we're kind of layering on our deco mesh. This is so super affordable. If you can get some 10-inch deco mesh on sale wherever you would buy it, this would be very economical. And especially for this, I would think that foil deco mesh would work really nicely because the foil hides any imperfections. But look how economical this is. Yes, the foiled deco mesh might be more expensive sometimes, but if you're using only one roll, I think it's worth it. Everything is poofed out, and just look at the fullness of this wreath base. And that is using just one roll of foiled 10-inch deco mesh. Before we get started on the ribbon, I'm going to show you why we're going to do 16 ribbon bundles instead of 18 ribbon bundles. This is a elongated sign, so on top right here, it's just simply going to cover it. And at the bottom here, same thing. So what I'm going to do is on the inside row of my wreath, I'm going to put 2 ribbon bundles, skip one, and then put 2 more and skip. So that way we only need 16 because, as I said, it's just going to cover it. Starting with my 2.5-inch beautiful star ribbon, I'm going to do 16 pieces at 12 inches each. Measuring my 12 inches, I'm going to zigzag until I get 16 pieces. I zigzagged my 16 strips, and now all I'm going to do is fold the ends in half and cut a little triangle. Some people like to cut a little deeper, some people like to cut a little higher. That's okay, whatever you feel like is just fine. As we're making our dovetails, we're also cutting our ribbon, and I love that. Now I'm going to just go to the other side and do the other side. Since I'm only making 16 bundles and I'm going to be using a combo of this one and this one as my second ribbon, I'm going to need only 8 of each. I'm going to do the same thing, 12 inches. The ribbon is all cut up. I have 16 of the 2.5, 8 and 8 of these. Let's do the inside row. One of these, we're going to fold in half to find our center, open it back up, and just squeeze it together. Attach it to our pipe cleaner, and then I'm going to twist until I'm about an inch from the connection. If you are going to attach something, you can definitely keep it. I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to twist a little bit, cut off the excess, fold the pipe cleaner in half, and then fold it back behind our ribbon. For our next one, we are going to do the star one and the white one. A little fold to find the center, squeeze it together, put it on the next one. After this one, we're going to skip one, go to the next one. I have my 4 on the inside row, and now moving to the outside row. I'm just going to alternate between the sparkly and the white as my second ribbon. All the ribbon bundles are on. Next, I'm going to attach the sign. Different wreath makers use different methods to attach the sign to the wreath. I like just using pipe cleaners and some scrap pieces of felt that I cut into little rectangles. I got my 4 pipe cleaners. I'm going to fold them in half and then make a little flat surface in the middle. Then remove the jute cord. I usually don't throw it away. I like to actually use it to hang the wreath. Since a wreath is round, just imagine a circle right here, and that is where you're going to attach your actual pipe cleaner. After I marked it, I realized that this is not going to be centered. The top had a lot of space and the bottom did not, so I just moved my little markings up. Hot glue, then our pipe cleaner, then more hot glue on top and the bottom, and then we're going to take our little piece of felt, put it right over. The reason I do this is basically the felt kind of melts together our pipe cleaner and the back of our sign, and it's a really good hold. Because our ribbon bundles are not excessive, fold the ribbon that I have from the center so that we can have it a little fuller. We can always face it towards the center if we need it, but right now we know where our sign is going. See where I want my sign to go? Let's flip. At first, I'm going to attach with just 1 or 2 twists. I like where my sign is sitting. Now I'm going to go back, twist a little more. Remember the jute cord we removed from the sign? I'm going to grab it, wrap it around any row you want, depending on how high you need this to be. Make a few knots, and you are ready to hang this wreath. At this time, you can also cover the back if you would like to do that. Now we come to my favorite part, and that's opening all of these up. And I like to open them like a flower, curl them, and I'm going to do that throughout the whole wreath. I love the fact that you can see the ribbon, you can see the deco mesh. It's not too much. I think this wreath really turned out beautifully. I hope you enjoyed this wreath tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. Now for my Leo fans, I'm sorry everyone, every time I try to do this I end up crying, my makeup's probably all messed up, but this is going to be Leo's last appearance because as you see he's not as feisty, he's very calm now, he's starting to feel weak I think a little bit. I think he wants to be left alone. As you can see, he wants to say bye-bye to everyone, and thank you so much for all the love and support and the good wishes for him. Right, Leo? Let me get myself together. With that being said, thank you so much for being here. We have prepared 2 videos for you to watch right here. Go ahead and click on them and enjoy more wreath tutorials. As for us, we're going to say thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Leo, say bye everyone. Mwah. Bye guys. Mwah.